a little competition we're doing right now. So the first 10 people are not the first 10 people. The first person to tag 10 friends in our live feed, because we want people to join us. We want to share the mom love. Whoa, I can hear you. First person to tag 10 people into our live feed is, I'm going to send you my new book.
And it's so big. I didn't expect it to be so big. I'm excited.
We upgraded it. We paid a little extra to get it big, and the corners are rounded so nobody does this. And I have toddlers that do that. So yeah, it's called God is Bigger Than a Juice Box. It comes out in March, and I'm really excited about it. It's the first book in a series called the Great Big God series, and the motivation behind it was just I wanted to talk to my kids about God more, about things, and relate it to things that they like alien spaceships and
a juice box.
And a juice box. They love juice boxes, which is one reason we're called Juice Box Moms, because you say juice box and they come running. Juice,
Yeah.
juice.
That's true.
So who are you? Welcome. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
We talked about who we are.
There we go.
Oh, good. We're just waiting for someone to tag so I can get.
Yes, the first people to tag.
And today we're talking about
tag 10 people.
Tag 10 people. And when you're done and you've tagged 10 people, just go. And we'll also see on the comments. We'll check on
Yes,
you.
we'll come back and check. Yeah.
And Becca, you are checking comments today.
I
right?
am.
So if you
have any questions,
we really want you to join in, because it is we really do believe we don't want you to do this alone. This is hard, right? It can be hard. A blessing, yes, but hard. We were just doing our weekend minute.
Yeah.
Becca was saying.
I was saying that my kids were sick at the beginning of this weekend.
Anybody else have sick kids?
Lots of things going on. Good things, but just lots of it. And so sleep was interrupted a lot, and Monday was rough. It was like detoxing from the busy weekend. Mm-hmm. So rough toddler, clingy infant, almost toddler, and so my husband came home to find me an emotional puddle on the living room.
Now, what does emotional puddle mean? What were you? You were crying. So he walked in, you were on the couch, and you were crying. Were you holding
silently, just sitting there? And he just came in and looked and was like, "I'll take them on a walk." And so they all left, and I made dinner in peace and quiet, and I felt like a new person. They came back. I was happy.
Sometimes you just need
a minute.
Yeah.
Or 10.
That was like the best minute of the day.
And that's okay.
And then the day
young moms
ended
out there,
on
it's
a good
okay
note.
to say, I just need 5 minutes. I need 10 minutes.
And shout out to the dads who give them 5-10 minutes, sometimes without even asking, because I wasn't in the mood to even speak.
Because they're afraid to walk in the room and they just slowly back out.
Yeah, he just took them and I'll be back. So yeah, and then my in-laws came in on Tuesday, so that's been fun. And we're going to go to the zoo. And yeah,
ended off well.
Great week. That's probably 60 seconds. Carrie?
All right. My week felt overwhelming. I'll just say that. Yeah, just honestly, I got a teenager and then I got an infant and then I have all my other duties. So it's hard to balance. / a lot of like emotions this week, just weird emotions randomly. And, so it's just been kind of like one of those weeks where I just feel like super overwhelmed. And I woke up late today because my alarm clock didn't go off, so that just makes everything else peachy.
Has that ever happened to you guys where you wake up and you just go, it's too light outside? That to this day is one of my weeks.
Yes. / that's why I'm sitting in the middle because I have bad hair. Can
I just say, her bed hair is like my dream hair. Like I have the straightest hair. It's so oily right now. Actually, if I just put it up like this, it'll stay. See? That's how oily. I had to form it into place today. I didn't even brush. I just formed it because it's so oily. So it's just funny how the things that people complain about are other people's dreams. Okay,
Yeah.
So it's
60 seconds.
60 seconds. I have like a row of antibiotics in my fridge for my children, and thankful for that, but also it's just kind of a representation of my last week of just getting over things. Yeah. I don't even know what to say because it's just like they've done me in. Like there's There's nothing there anymore. But I do have to say, quick, because I have 30 seconds. I did have a rough day yesterday with the kids, but last night I sat with Cora before we went to bed, and I just watched her play, and it just totally made my whole week. She's such a weird kid, like in the coolest way, and she just had on like her onesie with like holy socks on over the onesie, and we just sat and brushed her bunny, and it was
cute.
and put little feet like on the ears, like these little socks. It was like a little foot, like a little sandal she used to have, but she put it on the ears, and we put her little Build-A-Bear undies on. It was just cute, and it's moments like that as mom women we have to soak up because
You don't always get them.
and they're special. They are, and just watching her, they take the weirdest things and make them special. So she has a key, an old car key of ours, and she was like giving the bunny medicine with the old car key. I think it's cute.
It's super cute.
But
Boys don't do that, I don't think.
they don't. They will gingerly hold their Legos and put them together.
Yeah.
So that's my week in a minute and a half.
All right, our topic.
Did anyone tag anybody yet? I really want to give you this book.
So far, I'm winning in the tagging because
Okay, Becca's over here tagging.
I can't
She's
win,
trying
guys.
to win it.
I
don't
can't
think
win,
you're
guys.
able to win.
Don't forget to tag 10 people so that you can win a free book.
Yeah. And if you're like me and you don't know how I totally get it, I'm really sorry.
At and then their name.
At and then their name.
There you go.
From the woman who, when we were planning this week, had her pen and pencil out, like, okay, what are we doing? I'm like, oh, we're in trouble. I love that. You do that.
I'm trying to give up.
Okay, so we were originally going to talk about jealousy, and then I had this moment that they are so appreciative of. And I was like, you know what? We need to talk about this. We need to talk about how church can be kind of weird. And you guys were like,
And said, church is my everything right now. It helps me in so many ways. So it's weird. It was hard for me to call it weird.
she was offended by the title.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. She didn't. But I get it. And we had all to talk about it. And this is the thing, though. This is what I want to talk about.
It's a real relationship right here.
Yeah. But this is what I want to talk about. Is it is so church. When you hear it, some people just go, okay, I'm shutting down. I don't want to hear about it, or they think pain. I know I have friends who have had something, and if you know what, when I say the word church and pain, and that really resonates with you, we want to hear from you. What's your story? What do you feel when I say, yeah, church? Does something good come up for you? Does something bad come up for you? We know in history, church has done some really just amazing things in science and medicine. But there's also been some pretty horrific things too. And so we want to talk about, I wanted to say some of the weird stuff. So, because I mean, even if I've been to church my whole life, I know I posted a picture on Instagram last night of me in tights, and that seriously was like Sunday morning, gotta put on the tights, got Sunday undies. We like curl our hair. It was like a really big deal. I have really good memories of going to church as a kid. But I do remember, can I tell you my memory?
Yeah.
And then I want to hear your impressions, your first impressions of church as a kid. Or later.
Yeah.
Later. Like communion. So even when I say communion, some of you are like, what? Back in the day, everyone wore a suit to church. I know that's not the case now, but like all these men would go up to the front and they'd have, it was like very serious, and they'd have these plates, and they were full of really good crackers that Mrs. Jacobson would make. Yes. And grape juice, and they'd be very somber, and they'd pass it around, and I would just watch my parents take this, and they would talk about the bread and the juice. And if you're not familiar with the church, that's kind of a weird thing. And historically, actually,
I get that.
Yeah, they talk, even in like ancient times, people would say they're cannibals. Christians are cannibals, because they would talk about eating the bread and the blood, which that is weird. Okay,
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I get that.
anyway, but we, I later learned out as a child that it's representative of God's death for us on the cross and His atonement, which that's a big word, but atonement. So He paid the price for my sin, by spilling out his blood. Again, weird phrases you only see in church. Spilling out his blood. It's either a murder mystery or church. So, but blood is very significant in our faith because spilling it out means sacrifice and atonement and all that good stuff. So, this is part of the reason we go to church is because we learn about all these truths that change our lives. But Carrie, you did not go to church as a kid.
No,
What was
I didn't find the Lord till high school, but so my first experience, I was like, it was a sophomore in high school. My friend was like, "Hey, do you want to go to Bethany to their high school group?" And it's like a game night kind of event. And so I was like, "Sure, like they'll be boys, right?" And so my friend was like, "Yeah, of course."
Why
And
every
so,
high schooler goes.
yeah, and so I was like, "Yeah, I'll go, sure." And so we walked down to this like those stairs. If you know Bethany, there's like those steep stairs into the high school room. And I remember being like, okay, I'm either going to be like really liked or really hated because I'm like such a blunt person, especially at that point in my life, like pretty blunt person.
You're still blunt.
Still pretty blunt.
That's a strength.
Yeah, maybe just have a little bit more of like conviction, you know, of what I'm saying now, probably, hopefully. I hope so. Yeah, and so I think when I walked in, I was just super nervous. But honestly, all of the high school students were like super down to earth, super caring. Honestly, super weird, but like I was super weird.
Was it weird that they were friendly to you and they didn't know you? Was that,
Yeah. But I also knew some people in there already, so that helped.
were
But
you
like there
"What's
was
your
other
fault?"
people that I was like, wow, like you're super nice. Why are you so nice? Why are you so happy? You know, type of thing. That was a big thing. Why are you so happy? Was big because I didn't feel happy all the time like that, or honestly, really ever at that point. And then later on in the evening, I remember Steve Wright just talking about how there's a God who loves you unconditionally, and I was like, I need that. Like I just knew, and like God just totally talked to me that night, and I just wanted to know more. But I guess just that experience was like it was so nerve wracking to go into, but like so comfortable at the same time. But I feel like that comfort really comes from the Lord, you know, and uses those people. But it just that was my experience, my first experience.
That's a good experience.
It's a super good experience. That's why I feel like when
That's
I
not
hear
always.
church is weird, I'm like, no, it's awesome. So
Things can be awesome and weird at the same time.
yeah, agreed.
Case in
Yeah, agreed.
Do any of you have your own story about the first time you maybe walked into a church or walked out of a church? We love to hear them. I don't have
Not about this, no.
my phone. I know one of the things that when I think of weird, and maybe it's because oh wait, I didn't hear my yours.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell my story in a second. I want to hear.
Yes. So my experience of growing up in church, I always was in church. I grew up in church. I probably went to church the week after I was born.
But where were you and how?
Well,
Context is very important. Here.
Yeah, but I grew up as a which camera?
Don't look at this.
Okay,
Look at that little
I
robot.
grew up as a missionary kid. So
What's a
we
missionary?
had
What's a
missionary. So you travel usually to a place that's not your original home and you share the gospel. So my parents were missionaries to the military in Okinawa, Japan. So I grew up with a home church that we would go to whenever we were in the States, but then also church in Japan, military chapels, and when we would come back to the U.S., we would travel to different churches to support race and tell our story to different churches.
What was that like? Because there's a lot of different kinds of churches. Like, did you notice a big difference, or like even when you walked in, you got a different feeling from?
There were smaller, homier churches, bigger churches where you could kind of come in and leave and no one would notice. But one of the things I remember being frustrated about is when we would have to go to the other churches, I would miss my community at my home church, being known, having friends, being said hi to, and not just by strangers. And for a little bit, I was frustrated and a little bit bitter towards the other churches for not feeling at home there, feeling awkward, feeling new. But growing up and looking back, I realized that that's really so many people have the frustration of community. I don't feel connected at church. I can just come, I can leave, nobody cares. I don't know anybody, they don't know me. But really, church is set up to be a big body of worship, and you can't get to know people on an individual level on that Sunday morning, that 60 seconds.
So you have to clarify.
Yes,
Body of worship, that's a total church term.
that is. A body of people, believers, brothers and sisters in Christ,
Mhm.
who believe the same thing, worshiping together and learning together.
Yeah.
And you can feel connected in that, but you can't feel personal relationship
Yeah.
without getting connected to a small group, to a mom's Bible study, to the junior high, the high school. Once you do that, then you go to the bigger session of worship, and you know people, you know families, you know, and then you feel more connected and included.
And we all want to feel that inclusion. I mean, I think that's part of the thing I brought up, the hurt thing, is I think some people walk into those spaces and they go, okay, these people are being nice to me, but I don't feel loved or I don't feel seen in a deep way. And what you're saying is that
You almost can't.
community anywhere is going to take a lot of work. I mean, it is. I don't even feel like I formed really, really deep relationships at our church until I sort of made myself vulnerable and I reached out and I said, okay, I actually really need someone to come over and play with me and my children. Like I need that. And motherhood is such a good time if you've ever been thinking about going to church to reach out, because it can be so lonely and so overwhelming when you first bring those babies home.
I honestly don't know who I would be doing play dates with if I didn't just say, hey, can I join hanging out with you guys when you guys do your play
And
dates?
that takes a lot of courage and a lot of vulnerability
very
to invite
uncomfortable.
yourself, to
You don't-
ask yourself. But I also want to challenge the moms who are regular at the church. Don't get so comfortable in your 3 or 4 moms that you know that you hang out with that you forget to invite the new mom. To your
Because we
play
were all
date.
the new mom.
Yeah.
And we know what that feels like. It's so.
And it's much easier to come when you've been
Awkward.
invited rather than inviting yourself.
Yeah.
So I want to challenge both sides. Invite yourself
Yes.
and invite, and always be.
I'm coming, okay?
Well,
I'm inviting
ask.
myself to this. I'm just,
Hey,
give me your
that's-
address.
That's how Carrie
that's
got it.
literally what I did though, because I came from
Really?
being a working mom and was like, Becca, I have no idea what to do with my children during the day. I can't be with them inside all the time when they kill them or me.
And we
And
didn't know
so-
what we were doing either, so we all just joined together and didn't know we were doing
Yeah,
it together.
and so I was like, well, can I join? Yeah, and she said, yeah, of course, and I knew that they'd be inviting to that, but it was still weird and uncomfortable and hard to even go into that and be like, okay, I'm just really gonna try to build these relationships, and that's hard, right? Relationships are uncomfortable in general.
Well, and when you have kids, it's even more uncomfortable. I think in my 20s, I had no problem making friends. I had lots of friends, and it was easy. I found it very easy to make friends. I had kids, and I'm in my 30s, and all of a sudden, I'm just I feel like I needed to Google how to make a friend. Because I just forgot how to, or it changes when you're a mom, and you need to think of all these different things, and it felt so overwhelming. And I know going to church can either be a really lonely experience, and if you're in that space right now, we want to encourage you. We've been there, we totally get it. Someone just said, Kelly, yes, so much easier in your 20s. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna stop what I was saying, because Kelly, actually, I'm glad you're on. Kelly came to be a Christ follower later on in life, and you have an interesting experience, Kelly. I know she's watching. She's gonna. I think she wanted to. Say
I think we're
something
gonna
about-
have her add a comment in afterwards. kind of
Yeah,
her
because
story.
she was telling us a really cool, interesting story about her experience and about. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kelly, because you can. Yeah. You walked into church, thought this is a bunch of hypocrites, and you left, right, for years.
And I think she said it turned out that they were in that environment that she was.
In that environment, they were. She felt like they were living maybe a double life or whatever, but she went back the Lord brought her back and
A different church.
a different church and found like, okay, these people are like, they're real and they're authentic. And you know what? It's easy. I think it's at one point or another, we can all fall into that sort of hypocrite category where we're one way on a Sunday. She said yes, got hurt by the church in high school, came back to faith 10 years later.
10 years later. So that's
10
a long
years.
time.
you know, that's a big deal and it hurts. And I'm so happy that she came back 10 years later. But just we're sinners, the church is full of sinners.
We're all
people
messed up.
that make
We're all
mistakes.
totally screwed up.
And
yes.
And you know, some people are working to change that, others aren't. So I guess my challenge is just keep trying. I know it's hard, but keep trying.
There
And
are
yeah.
genuine, authentic Christians out there who want to welcome you.
And I
into church.
do remember Kelly saying, like, you know, to encourage people to go back. Like, just because you're hurt doesn't mean that you need to give up on all church. She was saying, like, you know, she tried something new and it worked. You know, for her, it was a good environment, a healthy environment, one that the Lord would, you know, approve of. And I feel like she was saying, you know, don't give up and keep going. So
My kids are left. We're at 22 minutes.
yeah, Kelly said something earlier about community or something.
Yes, keep trying. Real community does exist.
It does exist, but you know what? Once you find community, no matter where you're at,
There's gonna be problems.
there's
in
gonna be
that.
problems. It's messy, you guys. I mean, just turn on like Real Housewives and blah blah blah. Actually, don't do that. Don't
No.
watch that. But you'll see, like, it's so messy. Relationships are so messy, and we need to be okay with that mess. Just like we need to be okay with our kids making messes on the ground, we need to be okay with relational mess.
And just like you have to
work.
work up the courage to invite yourself into a group or ask to become part of a group, work up the courage to, if you feel left out or if you have questions about what someone said or didn't include you in your hurt, talk to them about that.
We've
Yeah.
had to do that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yesterday, Becca and I had a really uncomfortable conversation on the
Are you
phone.
uncomfortable?
Oh,
I was
a little bit.
feeling
I mean, I cried.
Our
guys.
levels of comfort are our
Yeah.
bars are different.
You know,
Because
yeah.
there was a misunderstanding and we had to work it out.
Yeah, but
And
that's what
now
you do.
that's real
what you do.
If they
relationships,
hadn't
guys.
done that, that would just continue to get bigger. And
And I would be sitting on this side.
in
of
a
the
month or
table.
so, the three of us wouldn't probably be here. You know?
Yeah,
And you know what? This is why I brought up the church, because relationships are messy no matter where you're at, and their work no matter where you're at. Yeah, no matter where you're at. But there's something special about following Christ. There really is, because and being a part of the church, because we learn about grace. We learn that we're all sinners, desperately so. Like, we are so jacked up, you guys.
Yeah.
We are.
it's so true.
Okay. We're so messed up, but we live in grace. We can have grace from Jesus. We can have grace for each other. So, like, if Carrie hurts me or Becca hurts me, I can forgive, and we can totally start fresh. And that's the beautiful thing about Christianity, about church, is that even though we're so messed up, we can start fresh each day, because God has given us His Son to sacrifice on the cross for us, and we accept His grace, and we can wake up like basically starting fresh every day. I'm just repeating
In
myself.
Romans, it talks about even as sinners, He died on the cross for us, and so it's just the
Yeah. So we can forgive each other, and that's a really neat thing that you need in your marriage. You need it with your kids, teaching them why do we obey? Well, because
Kimberly says that she always felt like she needed to be a better mom, to hang out with moms, with other moms. And that is such a
Total lie.
common
Yeah.
feeling,
yeah. I resonate with that for sure.
but it's definitely not true. It's not true.
and what does
Because
better mean?
how do you get better? You hang out with other moms. You see what they do that you like, see what they do that you don't like. You know, bounce ideas off of each other.
And comparison can be a killer of friendship, or even going out there. Because Kimberly, we totally get it. That's scary.
There's always someone's little girl who has
I
better
never really
hair
did a
and is
playdate.
cleaner than yours.
Oh, see, Kim, playdates are how I survive, because I'm actually out of the house. But it takes a lot of work to get there, I think, because you do have to be willing to, like,
She said
initiate
that her feeling of needing to be a better mom, to be with other moms, kept her from.
having those
So,
playdates. Yeah.
Before we close out this topic, what would you tell moms looking back, what do you think you would have done differently? Or and as she's answering that, because we can hear from her, Kimberly's awesome. She has
Don't forget to tag.
tag because I'm just
You get a free book, guys. And I can't win, so
Someone
someone
get a
needs to
free book if
and
you
if you're
tag
like
10
me and
people.
you struggle doing that.
ask your husband. They usually have mine. Does. I don't know.
Yours does. I don't know. Some of these ladies are more tech savvy than me. We'll see.
No offense. That's just who I am.
You're so no. Yeah. I guess did she answer?
Not yet. We can always go back. We can go back
Go
and look and see if she answers.
What I might do is just give this to someone to invite ask 10 people to like the page. We could do that too because we update the page a lot, or we're trying to. And
Juicebox Press.
Juicebox Press on Facebook, and we'll be sharing our episodes and other resources that we find that help us. And if you want to go that route, because you're just so excited to listen to us, you don't want to take a break to tag 10 people. We'll just we'll have you invite people to the page. That will work too. Just give us a thumbs up when you do it. And we always, if there aren't any other comments, we're at time. Yeah, we're at time. We want to respect your time. Yeah. Do you have any things we need to say?
I would just remember to reach out to like mom's group or Wednesday night Bible study if like it's women talking.
Whatever church you're at, I guarantee you they have something.
They do.
You cut out and asked me a question. Well, we'll come back to that, Kim. Sorry we cut out. We have to end now sometime. But yeah, your church has stuff probably, and get involved. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, get involved. Just don't be
Put
scared
yourself
to,
out there.
Yeah, invite yourself or
You might get hurt once or twice, but in the end, you'll be better for it. You'll get what you're looking for. Community.
Yeah.
Friends.
We all need community. Which is why we're here. So, we want to remind you, you're not alone. You can do this, and actually, you were made for this. And someone, Kelly, just won. Good job. I'll send this to you. All right. Let's
Dear Lord, thank you for just the ability to have the technology to hopefully encourage others, get them talking, get them thinking, give them courage to step out into a community. I pray that you would work through what we've said, help people to hear what you want them to hear from what we've done this morning. And thank you for helping us get the kinks worked out, sort of, in the technology. And I pray that we will continue to learn and grow in that area so that it'll be smoother next time. And I just thank you so much for these ladies here and the ladies watching. And pray that this 30 minutes would bring you glory and be an encouragement. In Jesus' name.
So go, Mom. And my tip of the week right now is to put a clasp on your frozen peas so that when your daughter pulls them out of the fridge,
They don't go out.
because those are super fun to pick up when they thaw out. It's awesome. Did we talk about real quick before we go? We would love to post your pictures of mess. We're
Yes.
going to give out another award for mess, biggest
Gold
mess.
star.
Gold star. So we would like to give you that gold star, but you need to.
They have to be real messes.
Yes.
Don't go faking messes.
Don't
There's
go
enough
make your own
real
mess.
Who has time to go fake a mess? You know, if you want to go fake a mess and you got time to do that, then go for it, because that's impressive in and of itself. No, but yeah, so
Your
tag
kids'
your best
messes.
messes.
Yeah.
We just want to encourage you. Sometimes I think early in motherhood, I would really stress out about messes, and it stressed out my kids. And now I just laugh and I take a picture. So
And we want to appreciate your mess. We want to appreciate it.
We want to be like,
And
yes.
the crazy that led up to it, and then your efforts to clean it up.
Or if you're just crying because it just happened, just post a picture, and we'll.
So what do they
draw
need to do in order to do that?
So just go to the Juicebox Press page where we're streaming live through Juicebox Press, and go ahead and upload your picture onto it.
That'd be awesome.
Can't
And
wait.
we'll see you next week.
Okay.
#JuiceBogMoms. Oh.
Again, she's